I can show a demo of this one.
Yeah, actually that'd be quite good, yeah. So when you said there was a camera on it, I thought it was going to be face recognition or something, but it's
just for detecting barcodes.
So basically what this does is, with the camera, is it very quickly gets information about your transaction into the device.
Yeah.
And much more information than anybody would be comfortable to put in normally, right?
Yes, yeah. So this is a demonstration online banking website. So if I want to transfer some money, so I'll put in the account details. And then as I'm typing this, you can see that this barcode is changing. Let's be a bit more generous. And then I take this device out, and then I can scan this colourful 2D barcode. It's colourful because it means that we can squash a bit more information into it while making the barcode not too large, because the larger it is, the harder work it is for the camera to detect it. And because we're never going to print this barcode for online banking, there's no harm in using a colour camera and then a colour screen to show it. So then we've got to type in the PIN. It's not a secret PIN, so I can show that coming in. And then press OK. And then we can see what this website has managed to send to this device. And then it gives you this 7-digit code, which they can then type into the website. So that's 4346848. And then I'll press OK. And then we can see that the transaction has been accepted. The other very important thing that this device does is, if you're not sure what's going on, you can press the help button, and then it will give the customer instructions what to do. So ask the customer to verify the data, and then in the device that would actually be given to bank customers, it would show the phone number of the real bank call centre. Because another thing that criminals do with man-in-the-browser attacks is that they'll change the phone number that's shown on the website. So if the customer doesn't know what's going on, then they might call the criminal, and then the criminal will say that everything is fine when really everything is not fine.
So can we expect to see lots more gadgets like this appearing in our pockets, as it were?
I certainly think so. So the Payment Services Directive says that customers must be given some way of not only proving who they are, but proving that they are actually authorising the transaction. Now the question is, how are banks going to achieve that? So the law doesn't give very much specificity on how this should work. So these devices are certainly one option. Another device that customers have is their mobile phone. So the advantage is that it's something that customers already have. The downside is that there's malware that can get on mobile phones too. And also, not everyone has a smartphone, and some people who might have a smartphone but they don't want to put bank software on the device. There's been some studies of the way that people use smartphones, and some people are extremely cautious about putting any software on their phone because their job is shift work, and if their phone is broken for any reason, then they won't get called up for their next shift, and then at the very least they'll lose some money, at worst they'll get fired. So they quite rightly are cautious about installing software. Even if that software is quite well written, there's no guarantee that it might cause some problems on their phone. And so for those sorts of people, they might be more interested in using a dedicated device like these. Then there's the other possibility, which is SMS. So the customer is sent an SMS with the account transactions, and also a 6 or 7-digit code that they then type into the bank website. So that's quite nice because it works with literally any mobile phone. There's also ones that will read out the transaction to you, so they'll work with normal landline phones as well. But the downside of those is that it relies on the phone company not giving your phone number to someone else. And there have been cases, actually increasingly frequent cases, of where a criminal breaks into your bank account and then they call up your phone company and then they say, I've lost my phone, I've changed my address, please can I get a new SIM? The phone company sends out a new SIM, and now the criminal has got your ability to receive SMS, they've got ability to do transactions in your account, and then they can steal quite a lot of money. And in cases where this has happened, the bank and the phone company have then been pointing fingers at each other and saying that it's your fault, and then the phone company actually quite legitimately says, our business's phone calls, it's not being an authentication provider. Our security is adequate for our purposes of being phone calls, but now that you've attached the banking authentication to it, then it's not our problem. And the customer is left in the middle between these two big companies arguing at each other. And for this and other reasons, it's now recognised that SMS and phone calls is not a good way to do authentication. So NIST in the US, the National Institute for Standards and Technology, has now recommended against SMS as two-factor authentication. So I'm sure people will keep on using it, but I'd be quite nervous if banks plan to continue to keep on using that.